Hello and welcome to another edition of Another Book Review. This week I'll be reviewing Margaret Atwood's work, Stone Mattress. Talk a little bit about the author, talk about what this book is, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, who I'd recommend the book to, and finish off with what I'll be reading for next time. So Margaret Atwood is a Canadian author. She's still probably best known for her work, The Handmaid's Tale, which was made into a really popular television series. She also wrote The Blind Assassin, which is a book that is on Time's top 100 novels of the last 100 years list. She's written dozens of novels, short story collections, nonfiction work, poetry, children's work, so she's very, very prolific. This work, Stone Mattress, is 9 short stories, 3 of which share characters with each other, and 6 of them stand alone. The 3 that share the characters with them are basically a story of an author whose name is Constance, who has written kind of a fantastical world series a la Harry Potter or Westeros. And the story is really her now being in her 60s and 70s, looking back into her where the series originated when she was sharing an apartment with another poet whose name I believe is Gavin, and kind of the woman who came into their lives and disrupted that relationship. So each story is kind of told by a different protagonist. There's kind of Constance's chapter, there's Gavin's chapter, and then there is the third woman, Marjorie. It's her chapter. So I thought that was a really interesting way of looking at an event by 3 different protagonists, which I thought was interesting. Another story that I liked that was one of the standalones was The Freeze-Dried Groom, which is really twisty-turny short story, which is pretty cool. It's about a criminal whose wife decides to divorce him, and we learn throughout the course of the story that he basically does a lot of underworld criminal type stuff, and he kind of comes into contact with someone else who may or may not be a criminal after he discovers something mysterious in his storage unit without giving too much away, and I really like that story. And then the other kind of standout was, I think it's there's a story, the title escapes me, but it's basically about an author who splits his royalties 4 ways for a novel that becomes kind of an international bestseller, and kind of his resentment towards having to split the royalties 4 ways, why he splits it 4 ways, and kind of his relationship with each of the other people that he splits the royalties with. And there was a story, the title story, Stone Mattress, is almost like a Lawrence Block mystery story about a woman who goes to the Arctic to get revenge, just again to leave it vague. So I liked it overall, the short story collection. There's some of them, as always, that don't quite land as well. There's a couple of them that were kind of a little too long for me. If you like the themes of Margaret Atwood, again, this is, I think I've read Handmaid's Tale and I've read Blind Assassin. There's a lot in here that's about kind of jilted lovers, and a lot about, in this book especially, most of the protagonists are older elderly women and older elderly people, which is kind of nice. It's kind of a change. A lot of times you don't necessarily see that in all fiction. So I thought it was cool, and I thought that she has a couple of stories in there about kind of men taking credit for women's work, which is kind of also one of her themes and her other stuff. So if you like Margaret Atwood, I would say definitely give it a chance. If you're someone who is maybe not as familiar, or you haven't really picked up in any of her stuff before, I would say maybe try one of the novel-length stuff, because her works aren't typically that long. But I think that I enjoyed those a little bit more than the short story collection, and kind of gives her ideas a little bit more room to breathe. So that's Stone Mattress. And next time I'm going to be reading We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. So until next time, please feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll leave the Twitter link in the comment section below. Until next time, bye.